Hello everyone, it's been a while. This is Darky Way, your coach for the Montreal Mawiles, and I said it's been a while since the last battle, and the matter of the fact is, uh, since then I've actually had we're right now we're actually just about to go into the finals of the SDL. So it's a bit late, but today I'm going to be presenting uh, the um, seventh week battle between me and Phantom Stabilize Chicago Beartics. And now, as we can see, I actually can't show you the team builder since I actually worked over the team since then, since the actual battle took place. But I think I remember the sets on the Pokemon well enough, so I'll be covering that. First, let's talk about the Slopenny. I'm bringing Megalopony, and on that week, I felt very fancy, and I was very emboldened by my victories in the previous weeks, meaning that I had to bring a heat set. Um, a very heat set in this case. Megalopony had Baton Pass, Cosmic Power, Power Up Punch, Substitute. The gimmick here is that I was going to set up against my opponent and aim to pass them on to either the Mamoswine or the oh, oh, sorry about that. One of my sweepers that is either the Mamoswine or the um, Venusaur or the Hoopa, or maybe even my wall and make it unkillable if I find out that my opponent doesn't have anything to status me. That would be the Odino. Next is the Venusaur. Venusaur had the Chlorophyll in order to take on the Charizard Y. Growth in order to abuse the sun. Sludge Bomb and Giga Drain, sort of a reverse sweeper. Next we had Mamoswine, which was heavily invested in defense and HP. The idea behind it was that I would tank a super effective move either from the Excadrill or the perhaps even the Charizard if it's physical, or any of its special attackers, maybe even say the Zapdos, activate the weakness policy and use my set to sweep, basically. Mamoswine had Earthquake, Ice Shard, Freeze Dry, and I believe Knockoff. The reason why it had Freeze Dry was in order to take on the possible Tangrowth and or the Alomomola. Here, the whole idea of using Freeze Dry was really to hit these two not only super effectively, but actually deal damage to them if they ended up being physical walls in order to take on the Megalopony. They make an incredibly solid Regenerator core, and I suppose my opponent decided not to bring them because I have so many mixed possibilities on my team, and Venusaur, which was more likely to come, that really deals with them easily enough with the combination of the poison and grass typings. In any case, next we've got Hoopa, which was I believe this is a Scarfed Hoopa. Whatever the case, Hoopa does a ton of damage against my opponent's team. Bar the Miltank, which is normal type. Shadow Ball does about 55% against everything minimum. It one-hit KOs the Reuniclus, it one-hit KOs the Cresselia, if it's not specially defensive. It easily one-hit KOs the Zadu, which I was not expecting, by the way. My opponent's team, as we can see it right here, has the Miltank and the Zadu, which I was not expecting. I was, however, expecting 4 of the other Pokemon. And finally, we've got the, I believe, specially defensive Whimsicott and the equally specially defensive Odino. Odino Wish Support with the Toxic, Heal Bell, I believe, this time around. And Knockoff, I guess, as my only attack option. Meanwhile, Whimsicott had the. I remember there was a gimmick. It certainly had Stun Spore, but I'm not entirely 100% on what I had on it. I do remember that it was kind of a shoe-in. I built my team around the 5 other Pokemon and just ended up with a last slot that I wasn't sure what to do with. And I just put Whimsicott in there. In any case, let's jump into the battle. And I'm going to try and recall it as we go. So as we can see, I led off with the Lopunny, and immediately I knew that my opponent's Zadu was probably Scarfed. It was a no-brainer. There's no other reason why he would lead with it. So knowing that I don't have the Fake Out, I immediately switched out into the Ambulance in order to take on Zadu's attack. And as we can see here, my opponent is fully invested in Special Attack. I even thought for a moment there that it might be Specs, but after calculating my opponent's damage, I found out that it couldn't be Specs, so it had to be the Scarf variant. Anyhow, in comes the Hydreigon. No surprises there. I knock it off. It had the Dragon Fang in order to have the very powerful, I assume, Draco Meteor. Here I'm really scared of the potential superpower, so I'm going to try and switch out into the... No, I didn't actually. I just go for the Wish, assuming I can take the superpower, as my opponent doubles out into the Charizard Y. Here I'm going to be tanking a very solid Fire-type attack, 78% to Audino, which does really does a ton, but I take this chance and go for the Toxic against my opponent. Toxic brings them down just a little bit. Here I'll be taking back my HP, stall a turn with the Protect probably. No, I switch out. I don't have the Protect, I guess. Did I have the Protect? I don't remember. But I know that I don't really have much of a choice, and I need to sack something. And if I'm going to sack something, I might as well sack the one Pokemon that I just brought into the team for no apparent reason. So I send out Whimsicott, and it's going to take... it's actually not going to die from the Air Slash. Surprised my opponent didn't go for a fire move there. There was really no reason to go for anything else. I go for the taunt. He brings in the Zadu. Very good switch on my opponent's part, as it guarantees that Harabel doesn't get to do anything this match. And here we confirm that Zadu is indeed Scarfed. So Zadu takes down the Whimsicott as I just bring out the Mamoswine. Mamoswine immediately threatens out my opponent, and he's going to have to switch out into the Miltank. I don't really predict anything, just go for the safe Stealth Rocks. Oh, I guess I don't have Knockoff, I have Stealth Rocks. In any case, I switch out here, which makes sense because my opponent has a Charizard. So yeah, I didn't want to take on this Miltank, and figured I might as well take this chance while my opponent is going to set their own rocks to send in the Hoopa and threaten them out with the super effective Focus Blast, which I don't have actually. I actually go for the trick, hoping to trap my opponent with it. However, my opponent predicts that very nicely, switches in the Hydreigon as the opponent ends up with my Scarf. Thanks to Magician, I'm actually going to be able to take that back since I didn't get to take any other items since he had the Dragon Fang knocked off earlier, which actually bites me a bit in the ass right now. I'm going to go for another Shadow Ball because I don't want to switch in the Odino because I'm really scared of his superpower. However, as we can see here, my opponent doesn't seem to be going for it at all. It has Dragon Pulse. It doesn't have the Dark type move actually, not and not even the Draco Meteor. So what I figure out, and looking at the damage, it's more of a defensive Hadragon possibly. So that's really an error on my part. I should have switched in the Odino, as it seems my opponent doesn't run an offensive set. In any case, he switches in the Cresselia as I switch in my Megalopony and decide to go for the strat. I set up the substitute, set up the Calm Mind, and here I think I managed to scare off my opponent a little. I'm going to set up for another Cosmic Power, as my opponent is going to predict this very nicely. It's 50-50 and decides I'm not going to go for the substitute, goes for the Thunder Wave. It's going to paralyze me, which is an issue because now it means that Lopunny doesn't really have any chance of making it back in unless I heal it up with the Cleric. In any case, I take this chance, go into the Ambulance, and now using the Battle Pass it became incredibly bulky. My opponent keeps going for the Thunder Waves as I take this chance to knock off its item. No more leftovers for my opponent. Next I'm going to be going for, I believe, the Heal Bell, because I remember that I did get a second round of buffs with the Megalopony. So yeah, I do go for the Toxic for now. As I get the poison on the Zapdos after my opponent switched out, not wanting his Cresselia to be poisoned. My opponent goes for the Defog here in order to give a better chance to his Charizard to come back in without too much damage. I go for the Heal Bell, as I said earlier that I would be going for eventually. Next time, I know my opponent is going to want to go into the I thought he was going to go into the Charizard, seeing his chance to come in and do a ton of damage. But now he goes into his Hydreigon, and this is where I realized that it is actually entirely a support set with Taunt Roost and just one attacking move. And this actually shuts down my Odino, which at this point I thought was actually going to 6-0 my opponent, which is a big issue since the gimmick fails, basically. So I go back into the Megalopony and decide to set up the Cosmic Power. As my opponent brings in the Cresselia again, not really having much of a choice, I go right for the Battle Pass again, not wanting to take the T-Wave, not wanting to take the Psyshock, and switch out into Mamory. Mamory, the Mamoswine with the buffs in defense and special defense actually sends them out very easily. I'm going to be going for the Freeze Dry, since it's right now my strongest tab on the potential fires and levitators. Plus the chance to freeze if it hits the Cresselia. In any case, as you can see, Earthquake isn't really a good move for me right now since it doesn't hit anything except for the Miltank. In any case, my opponent's going to go for the Heat, the Extra Sensory. It doesn't do any damage. He didn't go for the Heat Wave. This tells me that he might be expecting the Weakness Policy. In any case, here I choke, and I choke so bad. After I sharding my opponent and killing off the Zapdos, my opponent switches in the Miltank, which I assumed was the usual tank cow, essentially. And I'm threatened out by the potential Body Slam Paralysis or the Toxic. I really don't want to take either of those. And I'm going to be switching out into the Audino, which is a huge mistake as my opponent goes straight for the Hammer Arm. Now, had I stayed in, Hammer Arm would have done negligible damage against the Mamoswine, considering I was pretty much fully defensive with the physical death bonus from the Cosmic Power. And this would have activated my Weakness Policy. allowing me to go for the devastating Earthquake against the non-defensive Miltank and easily revenge KO either with the Ice Shard, or that's if I don't even knock it out right there. So this is my second biggest choke of the game. Right there, I had the game. Right there, had I killed this Miltank, I would have been able to easily KO the Charizard after it came in, easily KO the um, easily KO the Zatu, easily KO the Hydreigon, and only Cresselia would have posed any sort of threat to me. And I'm fairly certain that I would have gotten the better end of the deal after forcing it to go for healing moves in order to temper my attacks, basically. However, I choked. I switched out, went into the ambulance, took that hammer arm right in the face, lost 76% of my life right there, with no choice but to go for either to protect to stall or switch out to get some health back. Um, as we can see, my opponent has a life orb. It does a ton. So yeah. I don't really have much of a choice. I need to save this thing. So I'm going to be switching out into the Megalopony. Sacking this thing is my only option at this point, since my last remaining chance at taking down my opponent now is to manage to set up the sweep with the Venusaur. Actually, now that I think about it, I think Venusaur had Sunny Day Growth, Sludge Bomb, and Giga Drain. I don't know if that's what I said earlier in the battle. But if I didn't, I apologize. That's my mistake. As I said, these sets are a bit behind now. In any case, my opponent does manage to get the KO on Megalopony. Now I take this chance, going to Venusaur. Venusaur is going to go for the, I believe the Sunny Day, in order to outspeed everything against my opponent. No, I go for the Sludge Bomb right there and then. I didn't want to take any chances against the potential Buddy Swampera. My opponent sacks off the Zadu, which I thought was a questionable play. I think my opponent should have sacked off maybe the Hydreigon, or maybe not Hydreigon because it really shuts down the Odino, but he could have sent in this thing maybe, or even the Charizard, which isn't really threatening. I think that Scarf Zatu in the correct position could have taken on the Venusaur better than this thing. In any case, I'm going to be forced out right here because I don't want to take the side shot as I set up. Go into the Venusaur, not the Venusaur, the Mamoswine, which is fully defensive as I've said earlier, and this thing has side shock. Side shock does absolutely no damage against me. 15%. I go for a freeze dry. Don't really have much of a choice except for hoping for the miraculous freeze. But here I see a chance to maybe go into ambulance and set up some health back again on my team. So I'm going to go into ambulance, go for the wish. As my opponent switches out the Cresselia for the Charizard, I don't have a choice anymore. I have to stay in. Can't really let the Charizard land a Fire Blast against anything else. I don't have much of a choice to do for Protect. If he goes for the Roost here, good on him. But I actually make the very aggressive play, go into Memory. I'm actually surprised at that. I think the better play would have definitely been to go for the Protect in hindsight. But I was pressured right there. I didn't want the Charizard to set up to take this opportunity to heal back with the Roost, and I figured that my only decent chance at winning anymore was to do the aggressive play into the Mamoswine and threaten this with the Ice Shards or something. So yeah, no choice but to go into Venusaur now. Venusaur is going to go for the Sludge Bomb, land the KO against the Charizard. There was no point for my opponent to switch out the Charizard at this point, so I knew he wasn't going to stay in and go for the attack. No chance to set up then. Here I go for the growth, get the double special attack and special and attack. My opponent does the good play, goes for the Thunder Wave over, going for the Size Shock, which means that Venusaur is now slower than anything my opponent has. I don't even get to land the satisfying Sludge Bomb against Cresselia, as I do fully paralyze right here, unfortunately. I believe I could have gotten the kill on Cresselia had it not been for the full para. But clinging to whatever hope I have left, I have to go into the ambulance. Instead of the, I need to heal back the Venusaur. So that means getting the wish off and getting the heal bell off. So here I go for the heal bell. This means that the Venusaur is going to get its paralysis off. Here I go for the wish, as my opponent goes for the ice punches. Ice punch does nothing, but I know my opponent is hesitating between going for the hammer arm and the ice punch. And here I predict my opponent to want to go for the hammer arm, going for the KO against the Odino, but he does the very correct play. I guess the switch was obvious because it was basically my only chance to maybe reverse the situation. Is going into Venusaur, healing back with a wish would have meant that Venusaur had one last chance at sweeping my opponent. But no, he's going to go for the ice punch again, land the KO, and this guarantees that Miltank is going to be able to take out the Odino with a combination of hammer arm and whatever other move he wants to go for. And even if I did manage to KO the Miltank, which I don't, by the way, I was entirely shut down by Hydreigon with the taunt. So this is going to be GG. Unfortunately, we do not get the perfect season in the first season of the SDL. The regular season is going to end 6-1 in my very favorable seeding place, I guess, for the yeah, this grants me a very favorable first place for the regular season, which means I am seeded number 1 for the actual tournament that comes in the playoffs. Next week, or rather right after this video, I'm going to be uploading very soon the battle against Gentle, which I was not Gentle, sorry, Gentle was facing Phantom Sableye actually. So the two most troublesome team are going to be facing off one against the other. While I take on London of the London Lucarios. So look forward to that. The video should be uploaded momentarily, right after this one, hopefully. And I guess I'll see you guys around in the next video. The next video, actually, while I'm on it, has actually been live recorded. So it's in 2 parts. There was an interruption of sorts where I had to wait for an hour or 2. Meaning that I'm actually going to be uploading it in 2 parts. The first part being the team builder video, and the second one being the actual battle. This is the first time I'm going to be doing that, and there's going to be a bit of an awkward ending to the first one, and a bit of an awkward beginning to the second one, I suppose. But I suck at editing, and I don't seem to be able to fuse both videos together. So just for this one exception, we're going to be doing it that way. And yeah, I'll be leaving you on this. If you enjoyed the video somehow, if for some reason you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you subscribed, commented. Yeah, leave any comments you please. The videos are very bare right now. The comment sections are a wasteland that I would like you people to populate as much as possible. And of course, the like button. If you would click that like button if you like the video at all, that would be great. I'm asking just out of some YouTube solidarity, I suppose. As you guys know, I am not exactly known as a regular uploader. It had been 5 years since I uploaded any content that's worth being named called as such. I had a few random videos show up on my channel, but those were mostly for sharing purposes, and I figured eventually that I might as well remove them from my private videos list. Those being the Fire Emblem videos that you may or may not have seen. Those videos are corrupted at times. I believe it's very odd. And I didn't save the copies on my computer, so I can't re-upload them. Not that it shouldn't matter in any case, since I don't believe any of you guys are going to. I don't think it's going to matter to you guys. It was a draft series I was doing in DraftCon. I was doing against friends. It was sort of a race basically, and I just uploaded those videos to show that I wasn't actually cheating at the time. I won that draft, by the way. It was a very satisfying experience. I might try to upload actual Fire Emblem videos eventually on this channel. If I ever get around to that. Since I've been using OBS, it's been very much easier to upload videos to YouTube, so I might do that. Even though I still can't edit for shit, but at least it makes for a decent video. In any case, I'll be seeing you guys around for real this time, and I'll be wishing you guys a good day. Goodbye. Yeah, signing out.